Hello students, welcome to this session. Today we are going to discuss the JEE Main Test 63 physics part. I have solved it right now and the paper was not that tough. Questions were almost what you study. So I regarded 3 as tough, 16 were medium, 6 were easy. There were some which had calculation, but there are some which you can do directly also. All in all, it was not an easy paper. It was not a difficult paper. You can say it could be easily done. So a score of 60 should be achievable, and for very good students again I say 85-90 should be achievable in this paper. So let's start. First question: wavelength of first line in Lyman series is lambda. The wavelength of the first line in Balmer series is, so first line of line is lambda, 1 by lambda. For Lyman the first line is 1 upon 1 square minus 1 upon 2 square, transition from 2 to 1. From Balmer, let's say it is lambda dash, that would be r times 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 3 square, because first line of Balmer means transition from 3 to 2. So taking the ratio, what we will get, lambda by lambda, lambda dash by lambda is, above we will get 3 by 4, here we are going to get 5 by 36. So 3 into 36 upon 5 into 4, that is 20. So this is 9 by 5, so it is 27 by 5. So I can directly go for lambda dashes 27 by 5 times lambda. So going for option C is the most appropriate one. Next, 2 point masses connected by an ideal string are placed on a smooth horizontal surface. Okay, string is ideal. Sharp impulse of 10 kg per meter second is given to 5 kg mass at an angle 60 degree to the line joining the velocity of the 10 kg mass just after the impulses. So what happens? We know, because it is the ideal string, the velocity components along the length of the string must be same for all, because this length will remain same. So now the impulse which is being imparted, that impulse, this component along this length, that would be, I can say 60 degree, so that I cos 60 degree would be equals to both 15 into this v, let's say v along the string, let's say v parallel we can say, and rest will give the perpendicular velocity only to this 5 kg, but this would be same for all. So I is 10, cos 60 is what you had, 1 by 2, that is 15 times v parallel. So v parallel comes out to be 10 by 30, so it is 1 by 3 meter per second. So we will go for option B. The speed of 5 kg will be different, it will also have that perpendicular component. Next, a small block of M slides along a smooth frictionless track, I suppose, as shown in the figure. If it starts from rest at P, what is the force acting on it at Q? Okay, where it is? This is Q. So first of all, what is velocity at Q? I can directly apply energy equation and I can say it would be U square plus the gap of the height. The height difference is 5r minus 4r, that is 2g into 4r, and U is 0. So it comes out as root 8gr. And if I see at Q, let's say like this. So at Q, this is the velocity I am getting. So this would be the normal force and this would be mg. So N provides the necessary centripetal force, so N should be equal to mvq square by r, that would be 8 mg, and this is mg also. The resultant would be, resultant force R you can say, or F net you can say, is equal to N square plus mg whole square, because both are perpendicular. So it comes out to be root 65 mg. 8 square is 64 plus 1, so root 65 mg. So we'll go for option D. So this is the correct one, because it is a net force, so it is asked, not the normal. If normal would have asked, it is been at mg. Next, the length of the potentiometer wire is 600 and a current of 40 milliampere flows. When a cell of EMF 2 and internal resistance 10 is balanced, it is found to be 500 the resistance of the potentiometer is. So because we are measuring EMF, this 10 is nothing, so we can directly say 2 is equal to x into 500. So x comes out as 2 upon 500 volt per centimeter, or I can write as 2 by 5 volt per meter, whatever you wish, is it would be like this. Now the total length is 600, so x would be equal to total drop upon the length, and that I can make it out as 2 by 5, so that VAB comes out to be 2 by 5 into total length is 6, which comes out to be 2.4 volts. Now this is 2.4 and this VAB would be equals to what I can say, I into RAB. So RAB comes out as 2.4 upon what we had, 40 milli, that is 10 to the power minus 3, that is 2400 by 40, so it comes out to be 60 ohms. Go for option C, that is the appropriate one. Next one, transformer you are using to light a 100 watt and a 110 volt lamp from a 220 volt mains. Okay, mains current is 0.5 ampere. The efficiency of the transformer is, so what we have, the output power or the secondary power is 100 watt, the secondary voltage is 110, and we have the primary voltage as 220 and the primary voltage as 0.5. So what we have, the primary power that is coming is 110 watt and it is 100 watt. So the efficiency would be 100 upon 110 into 100. So what we will get now, 1000 by 11%. So if you do this, this is 9 something, so it would be approx 90%. So go for that 90%, not exact 90 but close to 90%. That is what you can do it from here. Now next one, a point charge q is placed at a distance of r from the center of a conducting shell of inner radii 2r and outer radii 3r. Okay, the electric potential at the center of the shell is, okay, so we have this is 2r, this is 3r, this is a conducting shell, so I am assuming no charge is given to it, and this q is placed like this at a distance r. So what is the potential at the center of the shell will be? So you have to find what is the potential at the center of the shell. So whatever we know, whatever be the charge that is going to be induced on this surface, that would be equal to minus q. So the potential due to this inner induced charge is minus kq by 2r, because all are at 2r distance, plus due to this original charge is kq by r, and because of this minus q, this plus q will be uniformly induced on the outer surface. Yeah, just remember this plus q would be distributed uniformly, this minus q won't be uniform, but because we are talking of potential distance from center remains same, so because of the outer one it would be kq upon 3r. So this is the potential we are going to write. So what we can do, I can take 3r as common and kq by 3r as common, so it will become, because we have taken 3, it will become what I can say, you have taken 3 out, so it would be 3 by 2 with negative sign, this would be 3, this would be 1. So 4 minus 1.5, that is 2.5, or you can say 5 by 2, so it is 5 by 6 kq by r. So 5 by 6 kq by r. So as per the available options, what I can make out, this is option C. So very good question. Just remember the charges induced here would be non-uniform, here would be uniform, but for potential that actual distribution is doesn't matter. I'm again explaining because I doubt how many know this concept. This is q. Here on this complete surface we will have minus q, and on this outer surface we will have plus q, and now write the potential at this point O center. Okay. So it's a very good question. Next, question number 7. Body is moving from rest under constant acceleration. Let S1 be the displacement in the first p minus 1 second and S2 be in first p second. Okay. The displacement in p square minus p plus 1 at second. Okay. Okay. So what is S1? S1, because it is started from rest, we denote Sn in n seconds. In first n second, that would be half a t square, so half a into p minus 1 whole square. S2 is equal to, in first, that is half a p square, you can write it here. Okay, so if I open the above one, it is half a p square minus 2p plus 1. Okay, now this is in nth second, this second, so nth second displacement that we had, the formula is u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1, and because u is 0, I can write it to be 0, so it would be a by 2 into 2n minus 1, so 2 times p square minus p plus 1 minus 1, that is what we need. So if I do this, what I get, 2p square minus 2p, and this will become plus 1, 2 minus 1, that is 2. So now going by the option, if I do, let's add them. If I add them, just by adding them, what we can get, half a p square 2p square minus 2p plus 1, so you get this. So just simply look at this. This was for first p minus 1 second, this is for first p second, this is for a particular second. So it's simply a mathematical thing. You have to observe how you can do this. Next one. Body hangs from a massless spring, stretches it by 3 centimeter on Earth's surface. Okay, at a place 800 kilometer above the Earth's surface, the same body will stretch. So what will happen? Its weight will reduce. What would be the new weight? The W would become W naught into, because it has gone up, we have to 800 kilometer is a substantial distance. So we'll do this as R upon R plus H ka whole square, that you know. G at height H is given by G naught into R upon R plus H ka whole square, because G is inverse to R square, you know. So that becomes W naught into R is 6400, this is 6400 plus 800, that is 7200. So this is what you get, 8 by 9, that is 64 by 81. So weights reduces to 64 by 81. So the spring stretch will also reduces, it will become 64 by 81 into 3. So that is 64 by 27 centimeter. So going by the option, it would be option B for sure. So good one. You can do this. Don't do that 1 minus 2h by r, because 800 kilometers is a substantial distance as compared to 6400 kilometers. Now You had a black body of this mass, surface area, initial temperature. If it is allowed to cool inside an evacuated enclosure kept at constant temperature, okay, the rate of cooling is this, the specific heat of the body is, okay. So what is the rate of heat loss? I know is sigma, because it is black body A, T to the power 4 minus Ts to the power 4, and that would be equal to ms dt by dt, rate of cooling. This is the rate of cooling, this is the loss, so minus sign I can incorporate, or I can write it as a mod dt by dt. So that dt by dt mod rate of cooling would be sigma A upon ms into T to the power 4 minus Ts to the power 4. Now what your required specific heat? So do it like this, sigma A upon this rate of cooling dt by dt into m into T to the power 4 minus Ts to the power 4. So sigma is 5.73 you are given here. Area is 19.2 into 10 to the power minus 4. TS is a T of the body is 400, so 400 to the power 4 and 300 to the power 4. Okay, be careful in calculation. 0.04 and it is 34.38 into 10 to the power minus 3 for kg. So 10 to the power 2 to 10 to the power 8 I can take out, so it is 5.73 into 19.2 into 10 to the power minus 4 remains, 10 to the power 8 goes, 4 to the power 4 that is 256, 3 to the power 4 that is 81. And now what we have, you can write it as 4 into 34.38 into 10 to the power minus 5. So that goes up, that becomes 10. So 5.73 into, let's say it is 192. 4 into 34.38, I have multiplied that 10 here. 256 minus 81. Now what it is, 6 and 1, 5, 25 and 8, 71. I think I am done. Okay, 6 and 1 is 5, not y. 6 and 1 is 5, 25 and 8, 175. Okay, so what we have now, 4, if I do, this is 4 and this is 48. Now 5.73, 34.38, what I will do, it would be approx 73 6 are what I know, 73 6 are 18, 1, 6 7 are 42, 43, 438, yes, exact. So exact 6 times it is cancelling, so it would be 6, 48, it is 8, so 175 into 8, so that is 350 into 4, that is 700 into 2, that is 400. 1400, sorry, not 400, 700 into 2, 1400, so go for 1400. So good one, you have to calculate it. I have done, you should also do this. Next one. During an adiabatic process, the pressure of an ideal gas is found to be proportional to cube of temperature. This is many times we have done here. P proportional to T cube, what we get, T is PV upon NR. So taking this basically is, it comes out as P square V cube is constant. Do this. So PV to the power 3 by 2 is constant. So you get PV to the power gamma. Gamma is 3 by 2. This is a question given in sheet of all institutes, asked in many exam. You should be able to. Now the next one. Circular coil carrying current I has radius R, magnetic field at center is B. The distance from the center along the axis where the B becomes V by 8. Similar question we did it yesterday, maybe in your paper or NEET, whatever. So at center B means mu naught I by 2R at center. And this B by 8 will be at some distance. So let's say it is mu naught I R square upon 2, not 2, sorry, R square plus X square to the power 3 by 2. That is the formula that 2 is there, sorry. So it is 2, I just missed it, 2R square plus X square to the power 3 by 2. So doing B, it will become mu naught I by 16R. This is mu naught I R square upon 2R square plus X square to the power 3 by 2. So this 2, this will become 8. This goes, this goes, this goes. So what we have, 8R cube is equal to R square plus X square to the power 3 by 2. So you can write it as 4R square to the power 3 by 2. You can do that manipulation. So just compare it. We get R square plus X square is 4R square. So X is equal to root 3R. So go for option B. That would be the appropriate one. So not that tough. Just do that calculations. Next one. Masses M1, M2, M3 are 5, 2 and 3. This is 5. This is, let me take the pen. And this is 5. This is 2. This is 3. Okay. Using massless inextensible pieces of the string, if the whole system is going upward with an acceleration 2, then the value of T1, T2, T3. So first for T1, take all 3 as system. What I will write, T1 minus total mass, which is 5, 2, 3, 10. So minus 100, that would be equal to 10A. Okay, you have to take 9.8. Sorry, so 10G, 10 into 9.8, that is 98. That is equal to 10 into 2. So that T1 value comes out to be 98 plus 20 118 newtons. So first one is 118 Newton. Out of the 4 options, 118 is given only in one, so go for it. No need to solve for again. I have not taken the screenshot for D, it was long, but 118 is given as T2 in that, so it's there. For T2 you can do M2 plus M3 into G plus A. T3 you can write as M3 into G plus A. So because we have got the option, no point in doing it, move forward. Now the 13th one. The value of binding energy per nucleon for 40 calcium nucleus is okay. So first of all, 40 calcium, so what it has, 20 proton plus 20 neutrons it has. So what we can say, what is the mass defect first of all? So 20 into protonic mass 1.007825 plus 20 into 1.008665. This was initial mass. So first calculate for this. So 2 5s are 10, 2 4s are 5, 16, 15, and this is what we have, 0 to 20.15650. Okay, whatever it is. Now 2 5 10, 13, again 13, okay, then 17, then 0, then 20.1733. so what do you have? 0 0 0, 5 and 3 is 8, 6 and 3 is 9, 5 and 7 12. Then now this will become 3 and this will become 4. This is the initial mass, and final mass is 39 point, what you had, write me clearly. This would be 39.96259. so put it 0 here. So subtracted is 1, 9 and 8 1, 7 and 5 2, 9 and 2 7, 12 and 6 6, 12 and 9, 12 and 9 will be 3. So this is the mass defect. So the binding energy would be 0.3672. so take it as 0.37. yeah, no need to be that much, and take it to be 930. For okay, so 930 into 0.37, you have to find EBN, that divided by which is 40. So what we have, 4 into 93, so it would be, what we will have, it would be slightly going to be less than 9 for sure. 9.3 less than 9.3, because 0.37 by 4 is less than 1 in that particular case. So it would be lesser than 9.3 and it would be closer to 8.85. that is the option I can go for. So you can do this, do the calculation also if you wish. It would be 8.55 I can make from the options. Next one. A particle is subjected simultaneously to two SHM, one along X, along Y. The two vibrations are in phase, have an equal amplitudes. A particle will, because let's say one would be X equal to A1 sin omega t, because they are in phase. Y would be A2 sin omega t. So what I can have, X upon Y is A1 upon A2, which is a constant, so it is Y equal to mx, so it would be a straight line motion. You must have done this composition of SHM, so that's easy one if you have studied. If not, you have to be watchful or thinkful for doing this. Next, if the work function of three sensitive materials are this, ratio of respective frequency of light that produce Kmax of 1 eV is okay. So what we have, we know Kmax is h nu minus phi, so h nu would be Kmax plus phi. So the ratio would be Kmax, so the ratio, if I have to find out, this would be that Kmax plus phi rate thing. So 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 1 4. So it would be 2:3:4. Just analyze it, not stuff. Next one. A uniform rod of length 2 meter, specific gravity 0.5, mass 2 kg, hinged at one end of the bottom, filled up to a height of 1. Taking the case theta non-zero degree, the force exerted by the hinge on the rod is okay. So what we will have, the force exerted by the hinge on the rod. So I am assuming it is in equilibrium. So in equilibrium, what we will have, I am drawing it here. Let's say this is 1 meter and this is 2 meters. Okay. So whatever be let's say draw it like this only, not that lengthy. Let's see. So CM exact midpoint mg will be acting, and at the midpoint of the submerged section buoyancy would be acting, and a balancing torque, what will I have, FB, and this length is theta you are given. So this is theta, you know, this length would be equals to whatever I can write, it would be like the submerged fraction that we have. Okay, so the submerged fraction that we can have, whatever we, let's say, write this length to be, let's say, x, so that would be equal to x by 2 into sine of theta, FB into x by 2 sine theta, that is the torque of buoyancy. And mg torque is, you will know this length is going to be half of it means 1 meter, so that is 1 into, and the length is again 1 into sine of theta. So that is what we are going to have. And what is the buoyant force? Buoyant force would be rho of fluid into volume. Volume what we can have, volume would be x by L, x by the total length into V into G into x by 2 sine theta is equal to mg sine theta. So what we have, sine theta terms goes, and rho f into V I can write as m by rho, so that will become rho f m upon rho of body into G into x square by 2L is equal to mg. So this mg goes, so x square by 2L is equal to rho b upon rho f. So body has 0.5 rho b by rho f. So now what is x square? X square is L, okay, that is coming out, whatever coming out I can say, this is what we are getting it. So this x comes out as root of L. Root of L means root of 2 meters. Okay. So now what we need to calculate, the force exerted by the hinge on the rod. So what is the buoyant force now? The buoyant force exactly would be this term. So that would be equal to rho f, and V we can write as m upon rho b. So it becomes mg rho f by rho b into x by L. So mg is 20, rho f by rho b, as this was given, that rho f by rho b is 2, x is root 2 and L is 2. So it is 20 root 2, so 20 into 1.4 if I take, it is 28 Newton. And the weight is 20, so what is the reaction force? The reaction force would be downwards here, because Fb is more, mg is lesser. So that force from the hinge would be Fb minus mg, that is 28 minus 20, that is 8. So if you do that at that 1.432 something, it would be 8.3 Newton downwards. So you can go for option C in this particular case. So this was question number 16 that we had. Now next, a fish looking through the water, seeing the outside world contained in a circular horizon. If the refractive index is 4/3, fish is 12 centimeter below the surface. The figure is not right. The radius of the circle in centimeter is. So what we have, let's say this is the radius, this angle is theta c, this angle is theta c. What you can write, tan theta c is r by h. So r is h tan theta c, and what you know, sin theta c would be equal to 1 by n, that is 3 by 4. So tan theta c would become definitely, this would be 3 upon what we have, 4 square minus 3 square, that is 16 minus 9 root 7. So h is 12 centimeter, tan theta c is 3 by root 7. So it is 36 by root 7. So I'll go for option D, that would be the most appropriate one. Next one, 18th. A uniform circular disc R placed on a rough horizontal plane as V0 and omega naught. Okay, so it won't be rolling. The disc comes to rest after moving some direction in the motion. Because it comes to rest, it doesn't do the pure rolling. It means the initial angular momentum about this point must be 0, because about this point angular momentum remains conserved. That is a very important concept, you know, because the normal and mg cancels and the friction always will be here or here, the torque will be 0. So what I can say about this, first of all, the cm1 would be mv naught r, and that would be equal to, what I can write, that is I omega. Both must be balancing each other, that is what you can write, and this would be I about cm, because what we write, LCM plus mvr, so both must be equal. So I omega naught, so I about cm for the disk is, you know, is a mr square by 2 omega naught, and this is mv naught r, both m are same, cancel them, this r is same. So what we have, omega naught is equal to, or v naught is equal to, whatever we can, v naught you can write it as omega naught r by 2. So it is omega naught r by 2 in magnitude. Okay, and friction initially, you know, because it is slipping forward, it would be in the backward direction. So the option C is the appropriate one, you can go for that. Next, heat energy is incident on a surface of material at a rate of 1000 joule per minute. Coefficient of absorption is 0.8, reflection is this, then the amount of heat energy transmitted. So it is 0.8, it is 0.1, so it is 0.1 only. So 1000 into 0.1, it is receiving per minute, into 5 minutes, that would be transmitted. So that is 1000 into 0.1, that is 100 into 5, that is 500 joules. So it's a easy one, because you know reflectivity plus absorptivity plus transmittivity is 1. Next one, dimensions of the resistance are the same as, okay, what is the dimension of the resistance? So how can I link the resistance to this? Yes, I can link a resistance like I know the formula, the power is I square R into time is energy, and energy is h nu. So the resistance will matter to h nu by I square t, and I square is 80. I is q by t, sorry. So I is q by t, so frequency you know is t inverse, and I square would be what you can say charge square, let's say q square I can write, upon t square into t. That is what we are getting. So this whole get cancelled, so this is h by q square, so h by e square, that we can make it out h by q square, that is a dimensionally same. Next, now the subjective ones. So the subjective ones, first, a shell burst on contact with the ground and pieces from it fly in all directions with a velocity equal to 60. Okay, if it is known that a man who is 180 meter away is in danger for a time interval of root x second, what is the value of x? So whenever pieces fly, you know, in all possible directions, the ranges will be different. So we need to find out what is the value of theta for which this range is 180. So for all the thetas for which range is greater than 180, he will be definitely at a risk, or just at 181 we can determine. So first of all, r is 180, you can write it as u square sine 2 theta by g. So what is 180? U square 60 into 60 sine 2 theta by g. Typically we take as 10, so this goes, so sine 2 theta comes out as 1 by 2. So it implies 2 theta is 30 degree or 150 degree. So you have two possible ranges, angles 15 or 75, or basically you can say for projection from 15 to 75 it is in danger, or at 15 or 75 exactly this point is in danger. So what is the value of time? So time interval will be the difference of the time of flight of the two, you can directly say, because that will be having the least time and that would be having the maximum time of all the in between angles also. So the minimum time for which it will reach it would be 2u sine 15 by g, and the maximum time would be 2u sine of 75g. Now, so what we have difference you have to take, so that delta t would be 2u by g, take it common, it is sine of 75 minus sine of 15. And if you remember the formulas, if you know sine a minus sine b, I hope you know that. So that sine a minus sine b would be cos of a plus b by 2, that would be cos of 45 into 2 times cos of 45 into sine of difference of by 2, that is sine of 30. These value you know. 15 I suppose you might be knowing, so you can directly go for that. I don't remember, so I am doing this. So 2 into 60 by 10, 2 cos 45, that is 1 by root 2, sine 30 is 1 by 2. So it goes. So 12 by root 2. Okay, now how to answer this? This is actually not right. Yeah, 12. It is actually not right. I don't feel it's the right way to give the question in such a format. Time for me is 12 by root 2, that is 6 root 2 seconds. Now depending you take it 1.4 or 1.41, the answer will vary. So you should have given, the question should have given, if I take only 1.4, or let's say if I take it as okay, root x you have to do, okay, then it's okay. Sorry, I was wrong, I didn't recognize that. So root x is okay. So what we had 6 root 2, so I can write it as root of 72. So now this is okay, otherwise it would have been unfair. So they are right, I was wrong in interpreting. Okay, next one. For the circuit shown below, the current in milliampere through the Zener one. Okay, so Zener diode will maintain a drop of 50. Because the drop is 50, I can say the current through this would be 50 upon 10 kilo ohms. That is, I can write in milliampere, that is 5 milliampere. Now this is 50, so what it is 70. So what is the current in it? Let's say it is I1, let's say it is I2, and let's say this is IZ. I2 I should write, because 2 and Z looks like same. So let's say it is I2. Now, so what is I1? I1 will be, this was I2. I1 would be 70 upon 5, again in milliampere, that is coming out as 14 milliamperes. So out of 14, 5 goes here, so remaining will be 9 milliamperes. So 9 would be the answer. So the Zener diode will be having a current of 9 milliamperes. Now go for the next one. When an object is viewed with a light of wavelength this under a microscope, resolving power was that. For the same object wavelength, so what we know, resolving power you know is inverse to lambda. So if you have done it 2 by 3, that the resolving power will become 3 by 2 into 10 to the power 4, or you can say it is 30 by 2 into 10 to the power 3. So you remember this for the microscope, so that's it, 15 into 10 to the power 3, so the value is 15. So it's an easy one if you can recollect that thing. Next, massless rod BD of length L is suspended by two identical strings ABCD of same length. Okay, block of mass M suspended from P such that BP is equal to X. If the fundamental frequency of the left is twice the fundamental of the right, then the value of L by X is. Okay, so because the rod is massless, first of all, let's say about this point balancing torque, this is T1 and T2, what I can write, T1 into X would be equal to T2 into L minus X. So first thing I say is T1 by T2 is L minus x by x. Okay, now left wire's fundamental frequency, that would be V1 upon 2L, would be equal to the twice the fundamental, that is 2V2 by 2. What is the L is same. Okay, so what we have, V1 is twice of V2, and because wires are same, V, what we can say, that is root T1 by mu, it is equal to 2 times of root of T2 by mu. So mu is same, so T1 comes out to be 4 times of T2. So T1 by T2 comes out as 4. Put it here, what you will have, 4x is L minus x, so x comes out as L by 5. So the value of L by x you can make out as 5. So again, not that tough one. Last one, displacement of an object of 3 kg is given by this. Okay, so it is definitely constant acceleration because t square. If the work done by the net force in the object in 2 seconds is p by q joule, where pq are smallest integer value, then what is the value? So we can directly write w net as delta k. So you directly can say half mv square minus u square. So what do you net? V is du by dt or ds by dt. It comes out as 2t by 3. So at t equal to 0, that is u is 0. At 2 second is 4 by 3. So put it, half into 3, 4 by 9 square, 4 by 3 square, 16 by 9. So what we get now, this is 8 and this is 8 by 3. I am getting, this is the simplest form I can arrange. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So this question is also solved. So this was today's paper. I hope it was not that tough. Meet you tomorrow if the paper comes. Thanks for watching. Keep sharing the channel. Thanks again.